What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Filthy Rags Garage. Glad you came back to join us. Our next video today is my bad, wrong shirt. Close. Not quite. Perfect. Now we can get started.
Filthy Rags Garage.
I'm going to start this video off with a small announcement. I have some spam cards or business cards with my logo on it, and that I'm here on YouTube. I've been passing those out. A few people I talk to, I hand them out to. Most time it's just nice cars that I see or cars that I can appreciate or see that someone's put work or time into. I'll put that card on the car somewhere, under the windshield wiper or in the window sill. But, so announcement with that is if you have one of those, contact me somehow. Either send me a message on here, direct message, or email me. I'll try and get my email in the description. But if you contact me and you want to, we'll try and get you on the show. Maybe we'll do an episode. It might be just a running series. I'm not sure what we're going to name it yet. If you guys come up with a name, let me know. You know, we'll talk to you about your car, you know, how you got into cars, what motivates you to want to keep that car and work on anything automotive. Like I said, if you got one of those cards, get in contact with me. Let me know. We'll get you on the show. We'll make an episode out of it. Let's get started. Today, we're going to be troubleshooting Alberta. We're going to try and figure out the ignition issue, replace the coil, see if that's the cure for the misfire. I'm going to do a compression test, see if that might tell us what's going on with that ticking noise on the driver's side bank. So we'll just do that, clean some things up, and take a look. Let's get to it. So we're going to change the coil pack out and then try and start it up and see what happens. Now the battery's been completely dead. I've let it sit for so long. We're going to use my daily. Don't look at that thing. Don't worry about that. So we're just going to use that to jump off the battery and get this going. So I got the vacuum gauge hooked up, and you can see it's kind of off. It's already reading 1 pound, 1.5 pounds, something like that. So we're not too concerned with the numbers that it's actually reading. We're more concerned with what the needle is doing. We're going to try and get it as high as we can and consistent as we can. Because what it was doing was getting somewhere between 10 and 15 and just bouncing around like crazy. And then it was really starting to stumble and drop to somewhere between 10 and 5. And the engine sounded like it was running really rough. And then it would just, the engine would shut off and the vacuum would drop to nothing. I had to change the bracket up. You know, this coil, just something they had at the store. I mean, it's supposed to be an improvement. It's supposed to be better. You know, I'm not sponsored by these guys. I'm not doing a commercial for them or anything. It's just within my budget that I thought was going to be an improvement over the stock one. This is oil filled. This is I don't know filled. But you can orientate this however you want it. You could probably do it upside down. I don't know. But everyone who replaces the stock style, I don't think anyone makes that, so you can't buy it anymore. You put these oil-filled ones horizontal, and they start getting hot, and all that oil leaks. It's going to leak out of this seam right here where it's put together, where it's manufactured. So you have to put this vertical. You cannot lay them horizontal. So I kind of had to finagle with that. I got these little jumper wires in here. I didn't want to cut up the stock wires or stock harness just yet until I know this is a problem. If this isn't a problem, then I'm probably going to put the stock one back in and just keep this in the glove box as a backup. Or maybe I'll keep it like this and just make the wires more permanent. I don't know. But so I've got that in. I've had the daily running on the jumper cables. So the battery should be good enough to give us a start. Got all the wires out of the way. We'll put that back in. Put this out of the way. Oh, and I moved the fuel filter. Having to move this coil down here, fuel filter is laying literally right on top of these terminals. I don't want to have fuel right next to spark. So zip tie that up here just to get it out of the way for now. I'll get a more if this works, if this fixes it, I'll do a more permanent solution with this. Get the metal away from metal so it doesn't spark or short out. So I'm going to put this on the tripod and give it a rip. Oh, a neat thing with this, I don't have to be in the cab to try and start it. With this starter solenoid, just take this little connector off of the S terminal, which is this one. They got a mark. This is T, this is S, this is power from the battery. This is to, excuse me, let me show you. So this is the S terminal, this is the T terminal, this is power from the battery. You can follow that cable around right to the positive side of the battery. And this side goes to the starter. So what I do is have the key in the cab, turn to the run position, not start, just run, where you can't leave it on start. Just leave it in the run position. Pop this terminal off, touch a screwdriver with a plastic or wooden handle. Don't do it with just a piece of metal in your hand, you'll get shocked. So a screwdriver touch to this post and then touch to right here, this battery cable. In doing that, connects the linkage to the starter and the truck will try and start. It may take a few times, the truck's been sitting for a while. Oh, sorry about the noise, I got the fan going as well. It's really hot out here. So we'll give it a shot. See, there's not fuel in the fuel filter right now. I'm going to keep cranking it over just for a few seconds at a time, trying to let the pump get primed, pull fuel all the way from the tank and into the filter. Alright, I've done that a few times. It's not really working. I'm not seeing enough fuel coming up from the pump to get fuel to the filter. So the engine's not spinning fast enough, which is not turning the pump fast enough to get a consistent pull of fuel from the fuel tank. So a little trick, just pour some fuel down the carburetor. That'll give it enough fuel to spark it and get the RPMs up to, you know, quite a bit more than starting RPM, maybe 500, hopefully maybe 1,000, something like that. Really get that fuel pump spinning, creating enough vacuum to pull some fuel up. I've had to do this before, maybe once or twice, just put some fuel down the carburetor and it fires right up. See, that worked much better. I think you guys have that. I think I have that in frame. Well, maybe it's too far away. A lot more splashing up here in the fuel filter. Let's give that a shot again. Okay, not quite. I got fuel in the filter now, but I don't have any in the bowls. I think that's all evaporated off. I'm going to give it a quick little splash again. Oops, a bit too much. Maybe that just means it'll run longer. Kind of what it was doing before, that still might be a fuel issue. Probably hasn't completely filled up the bowls yet. I'm going to try it one more time, see what happens. I'm going to flip the choke on and see if that helps. Okay, so that's a little scary. Apparently my kids were playing in the truck, and the truck is in neutral. Okay, take that back. The truck was on in neutral, the truck was in reverse. Wow. That could have been a major safety issue. Good thing the RPMs weren't high enough. Alright, let's try it again. Maybe that was bogging it down, trying to go in reverse. That's exactly what it was doing before. Now, yeah, when my mechanic buddy was over, we left the distributor loose. He was moving this around, trying to troubleshoot some stuff, and no matter which way he moved it, we were still getting a misfire. He advanced the timing, the misfire wanted to come out the carburetor. If he retarded the misfire, or retarded the timing, the misfire wanted to come out the exhaust. So that's why he was saying, try the coil. It's probably that. Because no matter what we did with the timing, it was still misfiring. So I don't think it's a carburetor issue. Don't think it's an ignition issue. I take that back. I don't think it's a timing issue. I think it's an ignition issue. So at this point, we're going to do, well, what I'd like to do is a compression check. That was better. I gave it a little throttle, and the vacuum gauge, which we know is incorrect, actually went into the green, and it seemed to run okay. So it's just a low speed. Interesting. So I did move the distributor a little bit, and the idle definitely improved. So the timing was probably off a wee bit. But yeah, I think at this point I'm going to do a compression check and see what's going on. So we'll jump back to that and see you guys then. Alright guys, so we're back on the truck. You can see I got haircut, new shirt. It's been a few days. I've had some bad weather. Every day I've come home from work and wanted to do something on the truck. It's been raining. I want to do the compression check. We've eliminated the misfire. We got some coil in there. That's a fix. I'll finalize that wiring later. But right now I'm just going to do a compression check. So we got to disconnect the fuel before the fuel pump, and and run the fuel out of the carburetor. We're going to disconnect or remove the spark plug off the cylinder, and then this is a hand-me-down fuel pressure gauge. Excuse me, compression. Ooh, it's hot. So we're going to use this to check the compression on each cylinder. So this goes in where the spark plug is. We'll turn the engine over 3 or 4 times, and you're going to have the throttle wide open. So disconnect the fuel before the pump, no fuel in the carburetor, and have the throttle wide open to get as much air in for an accurate compression rate. Now this is old, so I'm not sure how accurate the numbers are, but what we're looking for is consistency. So we'll do that now. Like I said, I don't know if I'll do a time lapse or not, but either way, we'll get going. Okay, so we got all the fuel out of the carburetor. Line is disconnected at the pump. There's nothing that's going to make it run now. No fuel. It's completely empty. You can see the filter is empty. The truck won't start. It did start. It ran. It died. We got all that. So now we're going to remove the spark plugs from the wires, and then one cylinder at a time will be checking. Okay, so I got something wedged in there to hold the throttle open. Turn this over. Got the gauge in there. I can see it from over here. And plus, it should hold the compression. And I'm not going to actually watch it while it's going on, but give it a shot. That wasn't good.
What?
Oh. Put that on. Nothing out of that. Alright, so that's the sale that ended the night. My compression gauge is messed up. The needle is actually on the wrong side with nothing attached. Where is it? Push the valve to release the pressure. There's no pressure in there. The needle is on the wrong side of this stop. So I was turning it over and it went the correct way, but then it hit that stop and it wouldn't go past 0. So it's kind of like at negative right now. So I knew that's why it was messed up, but I didn't think about it hitting that stop. And I'm not sure this was actually tight enough. I don't have any way of getting a wrench or a socket on here to turn this to get enough pressure. Once it was in there, the whole thing, you see once I got it in there, I wasn't able to turn this enough. I was just holding the gauge like this, turning it, and once it reached a certain point, this end stopped, the threaded end stopped, and the hose just spun inside of it and wouldn't turn any tighter. I did see the needle move, so that was a good sign, but even if the gauge had worked like it's supposed to, I'm not sure this end would have held the pressure, 90 or 100 or more PSI to give me an accurate reading. So I guess that ends tonight. I'll probably head to the parts store soon and just rent another compression gauge, and then we'll try this again. But for you guys, that should be in a few seconds. Alright, change plans. I messed with this enough, I could actually pop this glass cover off. Then I just took some wire snips and cut that little tab off that was keeping the gauge from moving, or the needle from moving. So now we got full range of motion. I'm going to put this back in and try it again. But I'm not actually going to turn it too hard. Again, I'm just going to use the gauge, twist it on. I'm not going to put a wrench on there because I can't get a wrench in there. And see if I'll either hear hissing or air coming out past this, or we'll get a reading. We'll get a PSI number. Attempt number 2. Looks pretty good. It's holding right about 125. Well, not really. That'd be about 120. Actually, that's actually pretty good. Now we're doing cylinder 4. Alright, that went to about 130. That one wasn't very tight, so I may not get an accurate reading on that. It's pretty far back and I can't see. Try that again. I think I'm still going to rent one from the shop. Alright, cylinder number 8, kind of the same deal as 6. I'm not sure I got it on there really tight enough, but we'll see what we get. Kind of the whole reason I'm doing this compression check. I know on this side of the engine, I'm getting a pretty bad tick noise. Sounds like something with the valve. But we'll do all 8 cylinders, compare the numbers, and see what we get. Alright, that one's right at 130 as well. Alright, here we go, cylinder number 1. Alright, that's the same. Got about 130. I'm starting to think cylinder number 6 actually has problems. Alright, here we go, number 3. That was 130, maybe 135. Cylinder number 5. 130. Alright, cylinder 7, last one. That was like a healthy 130, maybe 140. Probably 135. Cylinder number 6 is about half of what it should be. Everything was right around 120. I think one of them, first one I said was 120. It's probably after it had come down. So again, I'm not making a good deal on the business end of this thing. But that worked pretty well for being old. I guess they really don't make them like they used to anymore. So it starts out at about -20, -35. I don't know if that means we can add to what we got. So I got 125, 130. I don't know if that really means 150, 160. But either way, everything was about the same, except for cylinder number 6 was half of everything else. So I don't want to start it up again until we figure out what's going on with that. But I guess kind of getting on a sad note, sun's going down, spirits are down. But we'll figure it out. It's just a puzzle. Don't get emotional with it. It doesn't have emotions. It doesn't hate you. It doesn't like you. It's just a machine. It does what it's supposed to, and when it doesn't, you can track down what it's not doing. Part of the fun of working on these things is the process of finding out what's wrong, or eliminating what's not wrong, and you're left with what is wrong. Thanks for hanging around. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys coming by the channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. If you guys think you know what's going on, put your guesses in the comments below. Well, next video, I'm going to take the valve cover off and see maybe the rockers need to be relapsed or retorqued. We'll figure that out. I might have a friend of mine come over who's an actual mechanic, and maybe he'll see something super obvious once we take that valve cover off, and that might be also causing our stumble problem. But I guess that'll do it for now. Thanks for coming by.
Filthy Rats Garage.